Hello. The purpose of this video is to explain how to design a ceiling and draft that ceiling for our construction documents. You are watching the video tutorial and lecture of this document. So it has been increasingly going as a fast trend to expose um, the joist on the ceiling. As you can see here in the picture, the joist is exposed and you can see the ductwork and the lights. Okay, so it's just a style that has been trending, so to speak. Okay, so if you do expose your ceiling for the joists, you have to make sure that the joists are explicitly done well. So you have to call it out on the plans that you don't want to see any extra materials or some patchwork on the joist. So you want the joist clean and done correctly. So some clients don't want to see the ductwork, and some clients don't really care. So you have to also specify a good-looking ductwork if you're going to expose the ceiling. Okay. You can also see here that majority of the ceiling is exposed, but when it comes to the bar area or the ordering area, that they have dropped the ceiling and have put in some aesthetic paneling to make it more interesting. Okay, so when you expose a um, joist or rafters, you might run into a problem on the second floor because on the second floor there would be typically some insulation that needs to be put in. So the rigid insulation on top is different from the insulation inside. The insulation inside is an additional insulation to insulate the building from heat. As you know, the roof is the primary source. Um, the primary area that is receives the sun. Okay, and in California, surfaces that receive a lot of sun tend to be very, very hot during the summer months. So there are a lot of installation requirements for buildings in California, and because of that one, there would be an additional insulation on the roof. Walls, you might have an insulation of R16, but on the roof it could be as high as 34, R34. Okay, so when you have this insulation on the ceiling, you don't want to look at this one. Okay, so some people have spray painted that one black or gray or something like that. By the way, it's hard to spray paint something with a metallic surface. So those who plan to expose the insulation will select a paper backing that they can spray paint on. Okay, so yeah, you can spray paint them, and again, it's the architect's recommendation. It's the owner's final choice to either have a ceiling or not. Sometimes they don't want to put a ceiling because not having a ceiling would considerably be cheaper for the construction cost of the building because there's really no uh, ceiling. It's just exposed trusses or frames. Okay, so again, but certainly you can see that if you have a building that its purpose is to provide um, public services, then the building or the inside the building or the interior might be pleasing and might require uh, more aesthetic value. And so if you want to expose the ceiling, you can put in something that would cover, not entirely, but distract the viewer from looking at the exposed ceiling. So you could put in these slats, or you can put in this geometric suspended parts. Okay, you see these baffles over here, or you can see something like this. It's also called like a baffle, but it's just geometrical design that comes in modular pieces. Okay, so you can put anything. You see this one has plants on it. This one has like cogs and gears on it. Normally, when you have something like this, the owner has already hired a interior designer to design the inside to give that atmosphere of what the owner wants. So in this case, these kinds of ceilings will have to be specified by the interior designer. Um, if the architect um, also focuses on interior design, then or restaurant design or cafe design, then this would be part of his services. But some architects only focus on the structure and basic elements. So, ceiling design may be taken to the next level by a specialized office for architects or an interior designer. Okay, so the light fixtures are also part of things that makes a cafe or a restaurant interesting. And again, these kinds of furniture or fixtures, I mean, would be only be assigned through an additional layer of design by a specialized architecture firm who handles cafes and restaurants, or because there is an interior designer involved. So early on, the interior designer will be working with the architect, and then that interior designer office would specify and work closely with the architect and say, hey, I wanted this kind of light here. And the interior designer would give the fixture, uh, and the architect would have to locate and prepare for receiving that fixture. Okay, but for our project, we're not going to be that fancy. We're not going to be as fancy as putting all of this. We're going to provide the basic services of assigning lights, and so we're not going to focus on something like these uh, nice looking lights, but um, you have to go into a deeper layer of understanding interior design to achieve something like this. So we're going to provide lighting that's very basic. It may be a suspended lighting like this one, and we're going to locate them based on the need or function of the building. Okay, so you must understand when you locate your light, the distance between these two lights depends on the height of the ceiling. The higher the ceiling, the more coverage it has because it's so high there. Okay, the light fixture would have to be spaced out uh, farther apart if the ceiling is high. As you can see here in the diagram, right? The farther the light, the larger diameter it covers. Now, of course, the farther the light, it would cover a bigger area, but the intensity of the light would be decreasing. So at this stage, closest to the light, uh, 5 meters. This is metric, uh, but zero point 0.5 meters. I mean, zero point 0.5 meters is like 18 inches because a meter is like 36 inches. So it's just rough estimate, but at 18 inches, the intensity of the light is 4,000 lux. But as you go down, 4 meters down, you only have 60 lux. Okay, so you can adjust the intensity of the light by because if the light fixture is way up there, then you have to increase your intensity, and that means that you have to assign or specify a light bulb that has a higher lux rating so that when you go down to wherever this one is at 4 meters, 3 meters, then you would achieve whatever purpose you want. So if you just want accent light, yeah, you can specify that bulb type. Okay. So the electrical engineer would have to work closely also with the architect, especially on restaurants, because you wanted to sort of create a vibe and atmosphere that may be not too bright, okay, if it's a restaurant or cafe, but you want the table to be lighted. So we typically locate these lights where the tables are, or you can space them generally. But yeah, you have to specify the the intensity or power of the lighting or the bulb itself. Okay. Um, so the fixture has nothing to do with the bulb. The fixture is the fixture. It's just a receptacle basically on so where to put the bulb. So the bulb has to be specified, and that one has the capacity or has the intensity of the light. Okay. So for our project, we are going to also use ceiling tiles, or referred to as acoustic ceiling tiles, or suspended acoustic ceiling tiles. So these acoustic ceiling tiles, they are suspended on a typically a galvanized painted sheet, and then you would see this kind of application in offices. Okay, so for our offices or storage rooms, we will use these ceiling tiles. You can design them as 24 by 24. It gets more expensive, 24 by 24, because there's more of these galvanized hangers that you need to use compared to 24 by 48. So here's 24 by 24, and here's 24 by 48. Okay. For bathroom ceilings, we're going to use a gypsum board, but most of the time, it's the architects specify a special gypsum board that is high, to tolerate vapor more. So these are called moisture resistant uh, drip boards or drywall. Okay. They're usually colored green, but I've seen them also purple. And then the gray stuff is just the plain drip board that you've been seeing in our house. And to design this, we are going to create a reflected ceiling plan. So architects design the ceiling and show their design on the reflected ceiling plan. So that's what we're going to use. We will also use a decorative panel on the second floor because, as I told you, you can expose the first floor, no problem. Okay. The joist on the first floor is typically better looking than the second floor because if you have a second floor, that means the roof is on the second floor, and you're going to see the insulation. Even if you spray, you know, black or gray, you'll still see it. So to provide a distraction, we're going to, put a decorative element on it, and there's a lot of them, but some provides drawing files that you can download. Revit is really popular now, and so the manufacturer also provides some Revit files. We may not find Revit files. We will not find AutoCAD files, so we have to like draw them. But here's one: a manufacturer that decorates provides decorative panels for ceilings. And if you click this one, let's open that one. Um, so we're gonna try to use something like this, and not on the whole ceiling, but maybe just a portion, just to provide some accent wall. Okay. So to do that, you are going to go to products, and you're going to choose the product that you want. And I believe I don't think it's a soft grid. You can do something like this, but that's going to be up to you which one you want to use. Maybe this one is also nice to see. So it depends on what you want to use here. But you can use, let's say, a dense two complex or a nest. Okay. So if you want to use this, you click on that one, and it'll give you a page, and you'll see how this is installed or some sample projects, and you will see on the very bottom some diagrams. Um, and you can actually see like the layout of this one. And most of the time, there's a Revit file that you can download. So this is a 3D model of that drawing file. But if you click on it, it will ask you to register first. So if you want to click download this one, you have to register with your email and then download. And we'll try that in a little while when we get to that part. Okay. So yeah. So or you can actually just um, trace over this drawing and see the layout on the ceiling. Um, it doesn't really take that long, but yeah, it depends on what you want to do. Okay, so yeah, let's try to create now a reflected ceiling plan for our project. All right, so for our reflected ceiling plan, we're going to create a base plan that we can XREF. Uh, so let's open our ground floor. So let's just go start and open and try to open. So make sure that you know where you're opening. This is my structural folder. Okay, so these are all my structural files. I'm not gonna open it from there. So make sure that you do not uh, or are in control of where the files are. So we're not gonna be there. Where did I put that? Right here on my AutoCAD files E3220. And then I have my structure folder. Some of the files are named the same because there's for structural. So make sure that you know where you've opened that one. So I'm gonna open my first floor. So I'm gonna open this, and you can actually um, do the reflected ceiling plan on this plan right away, or you can create um, a reflected ceiling plan just below it. Okay, so it depends on what you want. If you're in the stage of still changing the floor plans, then you might need to adjust your drawing system, because once you change your floor plan and you're doing the ceiling plan, you have to redo the ceiling plan based on you change the floor plan. So that's why most reflective ceiling plans are done when the floor plan is like in the final stage, or uh, have been signed off to be final. But like I told you before, the drawings are never final, right? It only becomes final after the construction, because even in construction day, you might have some changes on it. Okay, so this is our base plan. I'm gonna close all of this. What is this? Oh, I just opened this. Just close it and let's just save it. I want to close everything else also. The more files you have open, the more it eats memory, and your computer becomes slower in the process. So try to close everything that you're not using. Okay, there you go. So um, what you can do is you can draw your ceiling plan here, okay, directly, um, or you can draw it on a different sheet or a different floor plan. Um, maybe we need to, maybe we can just do a reflective ceiling plan on a different sheet. So we're not going to touch this. Um, uh, you know what? I think it's better to do it here uh, on this on this sheet. So let's just decide. Um, we can do it several ways, but let me just make a copy of everything here. Okay, and I'm gonna put it down. Um, Make sure I also have my ortho on. I'm gonna bring it down here, and on the second copy, I'm gonna remove all of my furniture. I can turn it off, but this is gonna be for my reflective ceiling plan, so I'm not going to need them. Also, I can leave my wall layout or my wall hatch intact. I wonder why this one. Oh, it's a different hatch. Let me just change that. Okay, so let's just leave it like that. They should have changed the one on top, but I think we're good just changing that one. Okay. All right. So I will remove this section cut, and I can just copy it later. I don't want to get confused. All of this furniture, I don't want to see them. I can turn off the layer, but uh, and then the a site plan on the property line, I won't need, but I'm just leave it there. Now this is going to be the order area, so I just left it there. We won't need our um, fixtures, but we're gonna leave it there. We don't need this. We're gonna need the doors, and I think we're ready to start. So to start this one, we are going to create a layer again, and we're gonna name them um, um, a reflected ceiling plan, okay, or RCP. So I'm gonna use so everything that's about reflected ceiling plan, I'm gonna put an RCP on it. It might be not conventional per American graphic standards, but I want to put ARCP for reflective ceiling plan, and I'm going to put their headers, HDRs, okay, or I can put in HA headers. So what are headers? Headers, if you've paid attention to our structural discussions, headers are what is like a beam that is over windows and doors. Okay, and erase also these. You won't need them anymore. Okay, you would just put in there so we can track down which one's A, B, C. Okay, so the headers are typically going to be found overheads, over the doors and windows. Okay, so we're gonna put a. Actually, I should have just okay, uh, a RCP header, and then I'm gonna put a line. I'm just gonna put a double line. There you go. And we're gonna do that for all of our doors. Okay, so put that for all your doors. You don't have to put them on windows because we're gonna leave the windows showing like that. So we're just gonna do them for the doors. Over here too, two lines to close the head. Okay. Now this one is supposed to be showing the edge of the second floor that is open above, and we need to make sure that this is left there, but make sure that this is now not hidden, and this is now a continuous line. Okay. Um, we're also not going to see the stairs. Okay. But you're gonna see the edges of it, and you're not gonna see any handrails. So we are just going to leave this blank. So you're actually trying to imagine what are you going to see when you're in a stairway or stairwell and you're looking up. What do you see? Okay. So here you don't see nothing, but over here you might see um, the edge of the a line on the bottom. So we're gonna erase this. Okay, we're gonna see that. We're definitely going to see like a line, and this are. And we're not gonna see the handrails, so we're gonna erase these handrails. Okay, uh, and we're just gonna leave it like that. And we're going to just highlight everything and change it to layer RCP head. Okay, and change it to a by layer color with a continuous line type. There you go. Okay, so that's basically what we're gonna see when you go up there in the ceiling. So it's just a location anyway. We're not gonna see the fixtures, but we're gonna erase it later when we've seen. I've seen some people who grade this out just to show. We can do that. We can just change this to a layer. There you go. And then once it's on that layer, we're going to change them to a color. So I'm just gonna select highlight, and I'm going to select color. What's our grade? 254? Not this one. That's 144. That's an odd color. So more color. I think it's 253 or 254. 253 or 252. I mean 252, not 253. Okay. So we're going to simply select the match property this. There is a line there, and then we're going to W to select window and select that whole thing. This one is it won't change color because it's a block. Okay, so you have to explode that first, right? And then you can change property by selecting all of those. There you go. So you can do it that way too. Um, so again, here we won't see any of this um, lines actually. When we go up here, when we go up here and we land here, um, we won't really see anything on the upper floors. Okay, so when you're up here, you would see the edge of the. If you look at your second floor, is the second floor here? Oh, no, it's not the second floor. Just want to show you the second floor. Rev second, Rev two, right? So you're gonna see this line above, and so you're gonna see this line all the way above, and then you're gonna see that this line here. Okay, so we're going to see a line here. So we're gonna see this line going straight here. Okay. Oh, happened. There you go. And then we're not gonna see any of these stairs here and handrails. We're not gonna see that. Oop, I think I deleted something. So erase that. Erase that. Now erase W, erase window. I'm gonna see this. We're going to see a line from here to there, and then we're gonna see the column. The column can't be deleted. It's gonna be there. We're not gonna see this, but we're definitely going to see this. We're gonna see that edge of the floor above. Then erase these and let's just do this and select that and do a perpendicular because it's just one line. Oh, what's going on? There you go. And then we're going to make sure that this and these two are on layer RCP head. There you go. Okay, there's something here. So that's what we're going to see above is an opening or the edge of the floor. And basically, that's our base plan, and we're going to be ready to do the ceiling. We're going to leave that here and fix it later, but we're going to do the ceiling next. Okay, so if you look at our floor plan, we're going to have some furnitures here, and this is the ordering station. So we're going to put a lights here differently than this one. Okay, so let's go to our RCP here. Um, if we look at our fixture, we said we're going to use something like this. So you have to know the size of this one, but it's really symbolic. But if you really want to know, this is called Millennium Lighting RWHC14. So RWHC14 Millennium. So we looked that up. You can actually look up anything, and then this is the pendant lighting that we're going to install. This is from a seller, and this one says it's 14-inch, and we are really after the dimensions here. It says that the depth is 14 and the width is 14. That means it's a circle. And so we're going to do a 14-inch diameter circle. Okay, so we're going to put that over here. Okay, so we're going to do a circle. Oh, we're going to create a layer first and separate that. A RCP and then light one. Okay, so we're going to put, because we might have several light fixtures, so I'm going to put in light one. And I am going to check that. So if I'm using that, then I'm going to close it, and then it says now RCP light one. You may want to change that to a different color, just so that uh, you can differentiate that from your lines. So I'm going to just put yellow. Okay, and then I'm going to be ready to make a circle, and we're going to use a 2 point. Okay, and then simply click here and then drag and then put in 14. That's 14 inches. And you're now going to locate that one over where the chairs are. Now our ceiling is 13 feet, and if we drop the light fixture a little bit, we might end up with a 11-foot ceiling, and so maybe 5 foot or 6 foot spacing is enough. Okay, so again, you have to work closely with your electrical engineer and talk about how you're going to space them, talk about what kind of light fixture you want. So we're going to space them at 6 feet. So we're just going to do a CP, click here, and then type in 6 feet. Okay, and then I'm going to do a 12 feet. Okay, and I'm going to do 18 feet. There you go. So I have four there. Maybe I can do another one here, 6 feet. There you go. Okay. So I'll have that. I might have another one here. So I might have that at 6 feet also this way. Okay. So when people are ordering, it's bright. Or you may not want to. Depends whether you want to or not. Okay. Now you have to choose a maybe a different lighting system here, and how you want the ordering station to be. So if you have a counter here, you might put in a smaller light fixture. So it depends on what you want. So we'll do another light fixture here, but this time I wanted to do only a smaller light fixture, and I want to put them closer together. So I'm gonna do an offset of 2. There you go. Right. Then I'm gonna space them out here, and I'm going to do a this time 3 feet. So 3 feet, 6 feet, 9 feet, 12 feet, 15 feet, 18 feet. Okay. And I still know. I think I'm done with that one. And then I need to probably put some lights here in the hallway. So because um, I may not want it 6 feet, but if you want to, that's your design. So I'll just probably do this and put in maybe in this time it's 8 feet because it's just a hallway. Okay. And then here it's going to be 16 feet. Okay. And then here I'm going to put in, let's just copy this one and put in 8 feet. There you go. Okay. So that's not my lighting. So the joists are exposed here. So you can't just leave it like this because you said that the joists are exposed. So let's look at our structural. So structural folder, and then we want to look at our base site, okay, and our second floor framing. There you go. So this is what you're gonna see above, right? So you're gonna see this line here, and you've got the beam here, and then you have your joist that's spaced at 12 inches on center. Okay, and this one is also spaced at 12 inches on center. So every 12 inches, you're gonna see that. So you're going to sort of copy this, but you don't want it as heavy as this one. Okay. So going back here to the uh, base Rev 4, we're going to have a beam here in the middle. Let me turn off this layer temporarily so that I am not confused. Okay, and we're gonna have a beam here. So I'm just going to do a go back to my header. RCP head. Let's just create a new layer. Okay. RCP, and then we just put everything at seal. Okay. Let's just put joist. Okay, and then put that as you can even make it gray. Okay, so these are your gray elements here. So we can put in a 251. Okay, darker gray. Make sure that you're using this layer. So I'll put a check mark on that one, and we need a continuous beam goes here. Oh, what happened? Now we won't need this anymore, so I'm going to just erase that. Um, and then I would have a beam also here, so I'm going to put in, I'm going to offset this 6 inches, 6 inches, and I'm going to match property this to this, and then do a fillet and extend. Let's extend it this way. Okay, and then this one I think extends all the way here. Actually, there's a beam that goes all the way here too. So I will do a offset of 6. 4, you may get away with 4 too, but we'll just leave it at 6. Okay, I have a line that goes here. Okay, so and then this one goes all the way here. And we're gonna simply trim this and that. Okay, and then this one is also trimmed. Okay, so let's go back again to this one. Go straight, straight. Then we have this, and then this one you will probably won't see this, but you're gonna see that. Close this second floor. Move this here. This. Okay, so we're gonna have another 6 inch here. So I'm showing you only how to start it, and you're gonna finish this and put in your open joist. Uh, well, and then what else? Where's my major beams? So I have a beam here, beam here. Oh, I have a major beam here and a major beam there. Okay, so those two. So there is a major beam here. It goes like this. Match problem is bothering me here. Okay, so let me look at my structural again. This beam goes all the way from wall to wall, and this one's carried over there. So that means that this one goes all the way here, and then I'm offset with 6 inches. And I'm going to trim this. Okay, and then there's a major beam going here, and there's a major beam going there. And there's a major beam here. We're going to do this line And there's another major beam going here. So we're going to do this line going here. And that's fine if the ceiling is the light fixtures there. Okay, you can leave it there, and then they have to figure out a way on either they would either move it a little bit here closer, like it'll probably be like this, so that they can drop the stem. Okay, and there you go. Well, we have a 6 inch probably here, and those are my major beams. And then all I'm going to do is put in my minor one. So let's save our work, and then let's put our exposed joists. All right, so we just finished drawing the exposed joist on the first floor, and we just followed whatever is laid out here. This one says it's spaced out 12 inches, and we just did that here. We spaced them out 12 inches here, and this one goes this way, but this one goes this way. These are main beams, and then I put them in a layer called ARCP joist, right, with a gray color, so it's some background. And then you might see something like this where your light fixture is directly on top of the joist, and that's fairly simple. All we're going to do is we're just going to sort of just move them a little further back by a little bit, just like that. Okay. This one also you can see that they're okay. I think this is good, but if you want to move them, just move them um, as like a group. So we're gonna move these. I'm gonna move these. I'm pressing W to select by window. Enter, and then I'm simply going to click and then move and then put them on the center of the joist, and that's it. Okay, so that's how to draw, and you can see the exposed joist. This one is open above, so there's no ceiling, so we put a cross. And this one too is open above, so we're just going to put a cross here. You can put a cross later on the paper space when we're finally finished. But you can put it here. Oh, missed that one, huh? Let me fix that hatch. Some of my hatches are not a solid hatch, but uh, here you go. That one too. I think I got all of them. Okay. So yeah, open here, open there, and this is the ceiling of the stairs. And this one doesn't have any ceiling, but this one definitely have a ceiling. Sometimes what you have is a wall here, and so you can just leave it like that, and then when we have a detail on plans, then we can put a hard tap here. For the um, restroom, we are going to put in a light here. So we're simply going to put in a light by drawing a circle and then setting it up to, let's say, 2. That's 4, and that's maybe too small. So let's just exaggerate that a little bit. I'm going to just offset that. There you go. And then erase the smaller, right, the smaller circle. And then do a line from the quadrant going up, 2 units line from the quadrant going to the right, 2. Okay, and 2 again, and then another 2. Okay, and then I'm simply going to match property this one to this. Then that's the light. Um, Now, because these doors are really on the floor plan, I have seen them be converted into a line type of hidden. So we can do that later. We can do this right now, but yeah, that's something that we can do. I'll show you that one later on. And then we're going to put a hard top or hardboard ceiling on this one. For this one, we will first I'm thinking I should have done that so we can just hide this. Okay. Anyway, we can just put a BH. We're gonna put a hatch and we are going to use a hatch um, that is sand. So here, this one here, sand. And then we're simply going to click there and click here, click there, uh, click inside these fixtures. Okay, enter, and then we'll simply going to adjust the scale. Let's try a 6. Okay, and then change the layer of that one to just RCP head, joist, light. No, we'll just create a new layer for it. So let's try creating that layer, uh, and then put a RCP, and then we're going to put a hatch. Okay, hatch, and then we're going to assign it, let's say green. Close that. Select the hatch and put that on that correct layer here on the left. RCP hatch. There you go. Okay, and then we have to probably adjust that later if it doesn't look nice on our layout. Oh, we forgot about this one. I forgot about that one. So let's look at this. Over here, the joist goes this way and the joist goes that way. So let's fix it right now. How did I do that? I simply did an um, offset of 12, and then I offset 2, and then I moved that back 1, and then I copied uh, 12, and then 24, and then 36, and then 48, and then I press escape so that I can create a new copy. And I'm going to copy these 4, and I'm going to hold it from this endpoint to this endpoint, and there you go. Okay, that goes this way. You can move this a little bit if it doesn't line up. Let's just leave it like that. We'll leave that to electrical engineer. And then this one, we're gonna copy again, or we can do the same thing. We're gonna do offset of 12, and then offset of 2, and then move this back by 1. Move this. Move. I want to move this back by 1, and then copy again from here to 12, and then 24, and then 36, and then 48. Okay, and then I can trim this. PR, I want to trim this. Oh, I want to just do a break and break that, and then erase this. And then this one, I'll just push it back here, perpendicular. There's an extra line here now, so I gotta erase. Okay, and then I'm gonna just trim this one, this one, this one, this one, and then erase these. Okay, and then I'm gonna just simply copy this. Ooh, I lost my line here. There we go. And I'm just gonna copy these two and fold it from here to there, and to there, to there, to there, and then simply copy this last one. There we go. Okay. So that's um, hardboard ceiling, and then we said that we are going to create a ceiling that looks like acoustic tiles for the office and large storage rooms. So we're gonna do it here and here. Okay. So to do that, um, we are actually going to do this with a hatch. Okay. So let us do a layer of hatch. RCP hatch, and then we're going to do a BH or a hatch button over here. We're going to click a user defined hatch, And then, whoop, what happened? Okay, we're going to create a user defined hatch, user defined, and we are going to do first a um, hatch that is 24 by 36. So we're going to do a spacing of 24. And then we don't want it to be cross-hatched first. So we're going to leave this not double, but oh, don't check this. And then we're going to click here. Okay. And then we can just check that. That's it. And you can see that it's not centered, right? It's not centered. So what we're going to do is we're going to locate the center. Okay, so just to show you that that's how it's going to hatch. So locate the center. I'm going to do a line from here to here, and then I'm going to do a UCS, and then I'm going to do an origin, UCS origin. So it says UCS and specify the origin of UCS. So I'm going to do a midpoint here. So I just relocated the origin. Okay, and then when I do my hatch now and then select that, you can see now that it is centered. And I can just erase this line. So it's now centered in the room. Before it wasn't, right? So because I want the hatch to be centered, then I can do that. Now, we don't want a situation like this that although it's centered, we have an extra um, very narrow tile here that's less than 12 inches or 6 inches. So what we're going to do is we're going to move again the origin. Okay, I'm going to erase that. We know that we did a line like this to relocate the origin, but we're going to do another line from the midpoint, and we are going to move that down 12 inches. And this endpoint is where I'm going to put the origin. So I'm going to do OR for origin, up UCS for moving the origin, and I'm going to click this point and then drag to the right for the X and drag up for the Y. And then I'm going to simply do a BH again and then select this point here and this point there. Now you can see it's much better. We don't have that extra narrow width on the side. Okay, and then I'm going to hatch again. And this time I may want to put back the origin back here. So I'm going to do another UCS and I'm going to click here and then drag to the right, drag up for the X and Y. And then I'm going to do a BH again or a hatch, but this time I don't want 2 feet. I want 48 inches. Okay, and then I don't want horizontal. I want vertical, so I'm going to change this to 90. Okay, and then I'm going to click now here and click here, and basically that's it. So do I want it to be equally spaced like that? I think so. I think I want it this way. I can also change it by moving it 24 inches here and we can see how it's done. So let me check this first and then I'll erase that so we can undo later. I'll do a line from the midpoint here and then 24 inches to the left and then use this endpoint as the new origin. Click right and then up and then do a hatch and see up what happened. Undo, undo. I lost my. Oh, there you go. I erased the wrong one. I wanted to erase these. There you go. And then I wanted to draw a line 24 inches to the left, and then put in a UCS here, right up, and then do a BH, and I wanted 4 feet, 9 degrees. So click here and click there. All right. So do you want it that way or the other way? It depends on you. I think I like it the other way around. So I'm just gonna undo, undo, undo. So undo, 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 undo. This one I like better. Okay. Now we forgot to click this door here. So yeah, we forgot to do that. So we have to do a BH and then click this door and then enter match property. I believe it's this one and click here. Uh, we forgot we've got this door. Anyway, we can just do a line. Let's just do a line at the endpoint. Oh, I can't detect the line. We have to start it again. So we're gonna do a EH 4 feet 90 here, and we do it there. Oh, we didn't detect that. I'm supposed to do, okay, yeah, good. Then for the line, for the other one, I move the UCS down for line midpoint, and I'm gonna move it down 12. Okay, and then that's where I'm gonna put the UCS. So UCS, pick the endpoint. The right and upstairs. I'm sorry. And then I'm going to put in 24 and 0. Okay, and click that, click this, and then click this door inside in this door here. Okay, and then there you go. And then where is that? Okay, and then bring the UCS back. So UCS, enter, enter. Okay, oh, no. Undo, UCS, enter, and then previous. No, we don't want it previous. Uh, we didn't do that. Okay, UCS, previous, previous. There you go. So we just go previous, previous. Okay. We can name this UCS previous as that one, but that's basically how to do this. Another way of doing it is basically draw lines, but we did it by hatch. So it depends on how you want to do it, but that's how we did that, and we're doing the same thing here. So I'm gonna let you do this by yourself. So go ahead and do this by yourself, and we'll go back, come back after a few seconds. Okay, so left you to do this by yourself, and you have to coordinate with the electrical engineer on where to put the lights and how many lights do you need to put here. But basically, this is our layout, and once you've set the grids for your acoustic ceiling tiles, then you would now put in the lights. Also, sometimes we centered the grid based on the center, or move it to the left or right based on how you want the grid to go and balance. But sometimes you would also want to balance the light. So if you only want to put here one light in the center of the room, then you want to lay it out this way. But if you wanted to put two lights this way, right, then you wanted the 24 inches to go this way and the 48 to go this way. So in this case, uh, that's how we did it. And depending on what the electrical engineer would say, you might need to change that. So let's now put the light. For the light, we're going to go back to an RCP light one. No, we're going to make it light. Well, we did it light one. So let's just use the same light. And then we're going to do a rectangle. And we're going to simply do a light here. Let's see. Because this is a hatch, I couldn't get an intersection out of this one. So INT, you couldn't go an intersection with that. You have to explode it. So when you have finally laid it out, I guess it's safe to explode it. We're going to do an explode, and then simply select both of them, and then they're now treated as lines. This one too, we're going to explode both of them. Now we can find the intersection. So we're going to do a rectangle at the intersection. Okay, there you go, intersection, intersection. And then we're going to do an offset of 2. There you go. Okay. And we're going to put a light here, another light over here. So we're just simply going to copy. We're going to copy from here, choose this endpoint, and put there. So now there's a light. A lot of times I've seen that people wanted to hatch this also. So we're going to do like a hat BH, and we're going to select a solid hatch. Over here, we're going to do a solid hatch. Where's my solid hatch? There you go. and we're going to select this and that one, select and I separated solid, but I don't want them to be yellow because it'll print black. I want it to only print gray. So I'm going to select that color and select a light gray, so 253. Okay, and then I'm going to just simply copy this and put that here. So 253. Okay, so that's basically it. You have your exposed one. Um, and we got the ceiling. Oh, we forgot about this one here. So let's do another light here in the center. We'll do intersection to intersection, offset by 2, offset by 2. Where are you doing this? Too much typing, too fast typing. Page that one, and then match property, and click that one, and this one. There you go. So that's how to put a light on our building. So you're gonna do the same thing for the second floor, and I'm gonna leave you do that on the second floor. Um, the next thing that we need to do are the registers. Okay, so I'll show you how to do the registers in a few seconds. Okay, so here is a sample of a reflective ceiling plan from a construction, and if we look closely, this is the whole building, and this is a grid ceiling tile, and they're using 24 by 24. Um, these squares are the lights. Okay, but you can also see that there's one here and there's one here, and they're not lights. So in fact, these are mechanical registers for air conditioning. So if you look at the legend over here, you're going to see that if you have a box with a slash on it, that's the return diffuser. Return is the mechanical system that sucks the air in. That's the return. And then supply diffuser is part of the ductwork that spits out cold air or hot air. So this is for output, and this is for input to return. This one returns the air because an air conditioning system, air is just being recycled. So this one spits it out. This one with a cross or X spits it out, and this one sucks it back in. Okay, and if you have to rely on the mechanical engineer and where he's gonna say to put them, but you can see that there's two inlets here, and then there's one outlet here, and there's another outlet here. Okay, so again, you just have to um, rely with the mechanical system. Now, diffusers comes in different shapes. If we do like a square mechanical diffuser. Okay, and so what does a square mechanical diffuser look like on a ceiling? Let's add ceiling here so you can just see, and I can just show you what does it look like on a ceiling. And so for offices, um, you're going to see these on the roof tiles, and sometimes they're decorative like this one here. Okay, but yeah, if you have an acoustic ceiling or ceiling tiles, you will see these registers there. Okay. Um, so let's go back to let's do not a square but round. Let's do a round mechanical diffuser on the ceiling. Okay. So mechanical diffuser ceiling. So you can see there's also um, a round, or you can be squared too, but you can also have a round diffuser. So it depends really what we're going to use. So going back to our drawing, if let's say we want the supply to be here, then we have to make another box. So we're going to do a rectangle. We're going to do it from the midpoint here. No, we're going to do it from, let's say, from here, and then somewhere to the midpoint here. So let's locate the midpoint. So intersection to intersection, and then line from the midpoint There you go. And then we'll do a perpendicular here. Line from the midpoint, and then do a perpendicular here. Okay. So that's where my rectangle should be, from here to here. We're gonna delete that extra line and then offset again 2 inches inside. And if this is the supply, then I'm going to put in a X. And then let's say this is supply and this is where I'm going to locate the return. So I'm simply going to just copy this from this endpoint to this endpoint and basically erase one line to become a slash. Okay. Um, Now, if this one is the storage room, we really don't need a air conditioning system here, so we're going to leave it blank. Okay. And then for our restroom, the diffuser is not as big as this one. In fact, they really have very small diffusers. And it's typically just exhaust, not supply. Okay. So we're simply going to do a rectangle, and then we're going to make it at symbol. I want it 12 by 18. There you go. 12 by 18. Maybe that's too big. Maybe 16 is good. So let's erase that. Maybe it's too big. Rectangle and let's make it 10. 10, comma 16. Okay. And then that's the diffuser. So I'm gonna offset. This time I want it to offset only by 1 and do a slash. There you go. So that's a diffuser, and that is just exhaust. Okay. Now for the outlets here, um, again you have to work with the mechanical engineer this time to tell you where these outlets are going to be, because you're going to have an exposed ductwork system, and we can show the ductwork system over here, but we're going to leave it blank. Okay, so let's do a round diffuser, and we're going to simply do a circle, and we're going to make the diffuser 18 inches in diameter. So D, enter, and then 18 inches. Okay, there you go. And then I'm going to offset. I think 18 inches is too small, so I'll just offset 2, and that becomes that one. And then I'm going to offset the inwards too, and another one. So this is going to be my diffuser. I'm going to also put a cross on it. So I'm going to do a line from the quadrant to quadrant, and then the line from quadrant to quadrant, and then I'm going to rotate 45 degrees at this center. Okay, so from here, I'm going to rotate this one at the intersection, and the angle is 45. There you go. Okay, and then I'm going to locate them where the mechanical engineer would say so. So I'm basically going to just put that and hold that. Let's check out my O snaps. Where's my O snaps here? Is it this one? No, that's not my O snap. Hold this, and I don't want my quadrant anymore. Midpoint, yeah. Okay, intersection, yeah. Okay, so hold that, and then I'm gonna remove my ortho and put that where it needs to be. So let's say the mechanical engineer says put one here, and then we're gonna copy that, and then the mechanical engineer says, oh, put another one here, okay, and then put a return somewhere here in the middle. So we're going to erase one of them like that, and that's the return. And then over here, we're gonna say, oh, now we're gonna copy this, copy this, and these two. And this time we're going to, oh, I lost my selection. No. Copy that. I'm gonna bring back my ortho. We're gonna put that somewhere here. Okay. And then this time I'm going to have I'm gonna copy this line from this endpoint to that endpoint, because I wanted to make these two my diffusers and my return. This is my supply. So there you go. Okay. Uh, you might put another one here or not. It's just there's really nobody here, so we're just gonna leave it like that. But that's basically our air conditioning system, and it's part of reflected ceiling plan. And I think we are done. Okay, we are done. We have the lights on the ceiling of the acoustic ceiling tile. We have the mechanical registers, supply and return. We have circular registers for the exposed ceiling, supply and return. Then we have your lights over here. We probably need a light here too. So I'm just gonna copy this and put that somewhere by the stairs over here. Uh, let's just put it here. There you go. Might put one another one here. There you go. We should be able to see the ceiling here above. Here, yeah, we probably need a light here at the stairwell right here. There you go. And then that's it, I believe. Okay. So this is the reflective ceiling plan. I'm gonna save this. Um, for the first floor. Okay, and I did it just below on my first Rev 3. I just put that below over here, and then now I can open up the layout. Let me save this again. So let's do an open and go to my not that one. Remember, you have to know where you're saving your files, and that one is going to be the uh, preliminary site, ground, second roof. So I click that and click open. Okay, so I have my A1 is my first, second floor in site, and I have my A2, which is my roof plan, and then I'm going to create another layout. So I'm going to just simply copy this. Yeah, I'll just copy this one. Mover copy, move to the end, create a copy, and then click OK. I want to bring it back one more. Rename this as A-3, A-3. Okay, and then name this A-3. And then we're going to put here uh, reflected ceiling plan. And then, you know what? I'm going to put here, let me change this because I'm going to put details on this one later. So we'll just leave it like that. And then we are going to, we don't need this. Oh, we'll just leave it there. But this one, we're going to move this piece to the left. And then we are simply going to copy this and the layout back here. And I will inspect my model space. Where is what is my xref here? My xref is rev 3. So inspect here. Um, Press rev 3 is this one, right? And then I'm simply going to reload that one, close, and where is my reflected ceiling plan? Look at this one again, rev 3, and it's supposed to be below here, but over here I have hidden it. So I will simply copy this and then expand this, and there's my ceiling fan. Okay, I'll close that here, close this here, and then I'll put this somewhere here. Oh, and then I want to align this viewport with my endpoint here and endpoint here. There you go, they're aligned now. I'm gonna move that previous again and move that further to the right. Okay, so that's my reflected ceiling plan. I'll save that, then go with my A3, and I know that my reflected ceiling plan is simply to the right, and simply to the right. So I would just drag this and move that to the right until I see. Oh, let me look at my model space again. It's to it's not to the right. It's on a separate drawing really. Um, so I will simply, because it's this one here. Uh, let's see. Let's look at my base rib 3 again. Uh, First floor. Okay. So I will go back here and then try to open that. I was confused a little bit. And see where is this plan? Where's this plan? Uh, Let me just erase this. Oh, oh, there you go. Where's my? Oh, it's here. There you go. I'm gonna delete that. Okay, and then open up a viewport. So mview, and I wanted to create a new viewport, and I wanted this view, this small view here. So I will double click and move that about. Zoom in, zoom in, zoom in, and make sure that that is set to 1/8 to a foot. There you go, double click, and then bring this closer inside like that. Okay, there you go. And why is it all gray? Oh yeah, it's all gray because I made it all gray. So I have to do double click here. Oh, I didn't lock my layer. So make sure you click this padlock. So even if you zoom in and out, you won't adjust. Anyway, when you're here, you click layer, and then everything on the XREF layers I turned gray. Over here, everything has been turned gray here. Okay, so what I want to do, I want to get this, and it shows me all of the layers, and I don't want these gray. So here, I want them to, uh, well, let's do this first. Let's do a preview and see. Oh yeah, it's not gray because it's just in the extra. Okay, so go back and let's copy these grids. So CP and point to where's that perpendicular? There you go. And this one too. CP endpoint to. Oh, why did it not line up? Oh, I got it. So I didn't line them up yet. I forgot. Okay, and did the thing, and I'm supposed to line them up here. So Let me line this up really quickly. Right, so let's line them up. This endpoint here is supposed to be where that endpoint is going to be. So we're going to move this viewport and we want that endpoint perpendicular to this line so that they all line up. So now that they are, I can just erase this and then make a copy of this to this endpoint here, and then make a copy of this one to this endpoint here. Okay, and that's it. Okay, this is a viewport, so I'm going to click this one. I need to put this on layer viewport. Oh, I have to click my all layers and then close it so I can put it on the correct layer viewport here. So I can turn that off. Okay. I think that's it. I'll erase this because I don't need that anymore. And then I will position that, let's see, a little bit to the right here. And then I can put my notes on the right and then put my details on the left. Okay. And then I simply will add a drawing title to that one and endpoint to endpoint here. And then I'm going to call this reflected ceiling plan. Okay. Too short. So I'm going to patch ST. Oh, yes. And I'm going to move that a little bit to the right here. And I will inspect. Oh, double click. I don't want this line here to be because I'm looking at the ceiling. I do have a balcony that I have to locate. So let's save this first. Go back to base first rev 3 and then locate where the balcony is. The balcony is supposed to be with my second floor. The balcony is supposed to be about what's the distance from the corner here? Let's check. DIST. Let's see the distance. And distance is 7 feet. Okay, 7 feet. So over here under we're doing a 7 feet line. Oh, and yeah, that's where the balcony will be. Okay, so I don't want my balcony to be, so I will simply change this. What did I? Why was it gray? Ah, there's a hidden line there that I didn't see. There you go. So match property that one to this and that, and then there's supposed to be a wall here. Supposed to be a wall. And no match property with this one. This one goes back here. Let's do a hatch here and match property with this one and that one, and then this line here. There's nothing here. Yeah, I want to erase that, delete that. And then there's a balcony here. We're going to do a fillet, erase this, and bring this back down here. There you go. And then what does the upper part of this balcony look like? Well, sometimes you'd see a concrete balcony that has like a 6-inch edge offset like that, and then you would see the lights. Let's just copy these lights here and we just locate it here and we'll space them 6 feet. 12 feet, 18 feet, and 24 feet. There you go. Okay. And then save that so it updates, and then go back to my premium stock ground floor. Um, then reload here, and then answer yes, okay, and check. And there you go. Okay. Now let's look at the preview of this layout 8.3. So we're going to do a preview, and yeah. So I like the color of my joint title. They're not thin. Okay, so they're fine. We will remove this viewport. So does it look like without the viewport? Let's turn off the viewport. Let's go to Xclip first before. Let's go to Xclip first before we turn off viewport. This is live viewport, right? No, it's an Xclip. I thought I transferred to viewport. And then we'll do a preview, and that's basically what's going to look like. Okay. So yeah, so you're going to do the reflected ceiling plan of the first floor. Oh yeah, this is just first floor, not this. So we're going to copy and put that here, and we're going to put here ground floor reflected ceiling plan. Okay, and then do a preview. Yeah, we're good. And close and save your work. And at this time, so you're gonna put here another one here for the second floor. Okay, you're gonna put the ceiling for the second floor here. Second floor reflective ceiling plan, but you're gonna do it on your by yourself. Okay, yeah. So that's gonna be your part of what you're going to turn in for this week is to do the ground floor, and I did it with you, but you're going to do the second floor by yourself. For the second floor, let's look at the second floor here. The second floor, you're going to have a balcony, so you're going to have lights again. So the way you did the same thing here, but we're not going to have an exposed ceiling now. So we're going to do a oh yeah. I'm sorry. We are going to have an exposed ceiling, and then we're going to have an artistic ceiling like the Arctura here, right? So we're gonna do an Arctura. But we're going to do this design after you've done it. So in the meantime, finish first the reflected ceiling on the second floor, exposed ceiling just like we did here, put the lights, put the register. Is there a room here? Yeah, you're gonna make this into a acoustic ceiling tile. There's no ceiling here. uh, hard hard ceiling here. You won't see this because you're looking at the up you're looking at the ceiling, so there's no opening on the ceiling. There's opening on the ground floor, so you won't see this. So yeah, so let me give you time to do the reflective ceiling plan in this one, just like we did on the first floor, and then put that on the sheet. By the way, this is preliminary for side, ground, second, and roof. Now that you have the reflective ceiling plan, we're gonna save this first, and then we're gonna do in a save as, and then yeah, you're gonna call this roof, and then you're gonna add here dash RCP, okay, for reflected ceiling plan. Okay, one just do big letters RCP, and then click save. So this would now be the one that we have, so the one with the RCP on it. Okay, yeah. So finish the reflected ceiling plan on your base second Rev 2, and then add that to the sheet. Anyway, you can do it, but make sure that there's one over here. Okay.